But guys, let's introduce our players, starting with the red Terran here in the bottom left corner. His name is Ganzi from Team Complexity. You know what was actually really interesting? Ganzi, Heart, and Killer all qualified for the Spring Arena too. And Ganzi's been doing well. He took out some people in MLG in his first round, so he's been doing pretty well. That's all the pickups from Complexity actually makes the Spring Arena. Like every single one of them except for Nada.
Complexity
but,
balling
like,
out,
they
man.
pick the right guys, and Ganzi is one of these people, very vocal about playing for a foreign team, and very vocal about placing his barracks outside of his base, as he is proxying one straight in the center, because it won't matter where TLO spawns, he's going to have a position to go very
This
aggressive.
Overlord buff might actually help so much. I don't know where this Overlord is stopping, so we're going to watch.
Yeah, we don't know exactly, but TLO's just gonna scout with his first Overlord.
Does he see?
Does he see anything? I don't know.
Oh, yes he does.
Yeah, he's gonna see it.
Yeah.
He's gonna see it.
There you go.
But it's only one barracks too.
But it's nice to know that it's it's coming.
And it's interesting because
that's
TLO, I mean, he's going to have to respond some way, somehow. He's actually sending his drones back.
Oh, wow. And he has a much later spawning pool than he wanted to have it.
Yeah.
And this is a distance bunker, too. I like the placement of this bunker. But look how cheeky Ganzi is. He actually sent a second SCV to make it look like he was just scouting. But, of course, his first SCV will be taken out over here. The Marine comes out onto the field. Now, drones are actually very good at dealing with Marines, because they move faster than the Marines, so they can always attack it. Not saying use drones only to kill Marines. That's actually
It's going to be very close, though. The SUV, is it going to be able to finish? Another Marine comes out here. Oh, very, very close. Imagine if that did get up. Now, Ganzi's just going to have to micro as best as he can with whatever he has, but the Marines are getting picked off very easily. TLO's pool is also finished, and he's just going to make queens here.
Yeah.
Feeling very confident. Very good job there by TLO.
I do want to say that's about 250 minerals worth of mining time that he lost right there, at least. I think it's actually more than that because he lost a drone as well. So quite substantial. A nice job, but the damage incurred over here. Oh, another Marine.
Wow.
Or excuse me, another drone being able to be taken out here. But let's look at the units lost tab. You can see that actually Ganzi lost a lot from that engagement as well. This drone. Oh, what a hero. You are a boss, man.
And it's going to go scout.
Well, he can actually morph into an extractor and just stay dormant somewhere.
That's it.
There's so many options for him, but very nicely done. Overall, I would say TLO comes out ahead in that because he was able to sustain with double hatchery.
Yeah, he got his double queens out as well. So he's looking
beautiful.
very sharp. You can see, wow, look at this. Talking about being cheeky. Ganzi's going for triple orbital really quickly.
Who cares? TLO knows about it. Awesome job by TLO. Coming in here with a Overlord. Oh, he sees the third command center. How clutch.
Yeah.
Now, it's really important. There's a couple of ways that Terran can actually go from here. They could have gone for 4 or 5, 6 barracks, as TLO knows best. They could have gone expansion. They could have gone tech. So it's really important that he got in here. The Overlord will be taken out, though. TT.
Now, at the same time, Ganzi, he's double gassing, and this gives TLO a couple options here, because again, he did go for double gas off his first base. He didn't try to go for an expansion, so obviously he could go for more tech route style and stay on 2 base, maybe harass the fact that Ganzi doesn't have much units for a long time. He's going to be very vulnerable for several minutes, actually, because he went for triple orbital. But at the same time, if TLO sits back for a little bit too long, then we'll see a similar situation to Straylock and Sen in game number 2, where it's a little bit awkward for Zerd to take exterior bases outside the first 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And you can just keep denying them, and that's going to be very hard for TLO. So he has to make something happen. And you can see that he's already moving out his drone to see if he can take another base. But other than that, though, what do you think TLO should really do in this scenario?
I think he should just try to develop his Zerglings as much as possible, similar to the TLO Strelok game. Just get that 1-1-2-2 timing in there.
TLO's going for a lot of Zerglings, and he's got his Baneling. Oh, he's going for a good old-fashioned Baneling bust.
Wow.
Before layer. This is very reminiscent of old school Baneling busts back in GSL Season 2 in 2010.
I always remember the Kyrix versus Marine King, or Boxer at the time.
Yeah, it was on this map too.
On this map.
Where he split it, but you know, Marine King didn't go triple orbital at that point.
No, he didn't. But the Marine Micro, of course, against everything. Now, this scan is actually meant to see exactly what his opponent is capable of. He sees a lot of drones. He doesn't see the third and fourth gas. So he knows his opponent isn't going Infestor, double upgrades, and Muta. That he knows for sure. It could be Roach Zergling, it could be Roach Zergling Baneling all in, Zergling Baneling all in.
Oh,
and it looks like it's going to be a trap. Oh, can he get there in time? Yes, he will get a lot of the Marines. Great job, but the SCVs will be able to spring to action. He's going to stop mining time for quite a long time. And the Hellion is going to come in here and deal so much damage. 10 Banelings, though, are en route. And he's just trying to... Oh, wow, he actually merges some Banelings in here. That's not going to be too profitable, but it does show his hand. He's just waiting for those Banelings to get in here. And here we go. Oh, even a drone with minerals is going to get in here as well.
The Banelings do explode on some of the SCVs, and a lot going on to the bunker, trying to reduce the ability to defend. You can see Ganzi frantically trying to get out more Hellions right now, and Tree, if he can kite the Banelings, spreading out his Marines, making sure that they absorb a lot of damage, willing to sack some of his SCVs as well. The Banelings doing a lot of damage. As you can see, Ganzi looks like he should be able to stabilize relatively. There's only a couple Zerglings left. And in the end, 20 SCVs still remain with some Hellions onto the field. So Ganzi actually weathered the storm relatively well, but still 21 workers have been killed, and TLO takes a pretty strong advantage in terms of worker count as he is joining up very comfortably back at home.
But Ganzi still has no reply to the mass Banelings. Even the Hellions aren't going to be as efficient. Now you can see he will start kiting back as best as possible. It isn't going to be enough. Now, he needs to keep up this pressure. But look at this. The Banelings are going to waddle through. Can he actually keep his Hellions alive?
Oh, wow. Actually, very good job there. Keeping the Banelings alive. And very well done here by Ganzi. And this is actually a lot of investment from TLO to do that. You can see that a lot of his gas investment, he really doesn't have tech. In fact, TLO is still on hatchery tech. And he's been trying to do this. Just non-stop Baneling and Zergling aggression. So over time, Ganzi is going to become stronger and stronger because he's going to compile more Hellions.
Correct.
So he's got to cut that out.
The big problem right now, TLO doesn't have creep spread to actually deal with these Blue Flame Hellions, so they will be able to get in anywhere they want to. He has a couple of Zerglings over here positioned very nicely for exactly this, some sort of surround. But as it stands, with the Blue Flame Hellions, they can two-shot all the Zerglings, so they're very powerful in this respect. Roach Warren is coming out, and additional drones, so that'll be a little bit helpful, I think, Frodan.
Ooh, he's droning though, and he doesn't have that much because you see Ganzi is willing down the existing Zergling numbers. He's moving out with Marines and Hellions, and TLO all of a sudden is looking extremely vulnerable. Supplies are completely switched around because Ganzi stabilized. And yeah, I mean, TLO invested way too much into those Zerglings and Banelings. He's now have to morph some back at home, and Ganzi's like, whoa, he has nothing really. He's just morphing his layer. He's like, what? It's 12.5 minutes in this game, but at the same time, it makes sense because he's been investing so much into the attack. Ganzi's now on the offensive, trying to see if he can push into the natural. Can TLO hold? Can he get the Baneling splashes? He's going to pull back.
Very nicely done. Transfusing the Spine Crawlers, making sure they stay alive, and backing his opponent up. If he lost those Spine Crawlers, all would be over. Those Hellions are able to do massive amounts of damage. But now going into the natural, if he did this before, he would have been able to take out all of this economy. And as you can see, the Hellions just going to town. Transfuse goes on one of these Spine Crawlers. Nicely done. And these Spine Crawlers seem like freaking animals. They are the best tanks in the world.
Yeah, they're absorbing so much of the damage. TLO trying to run with his drones, and Ganzi looks like he's going to invest a lot more into his defense. No! The Hellions are not paying attention to the Banelings, and the splashes are not going to connect whatsoever as the Hellions are trying to work on the remainders of the Spine Crawler. And TLO looks like he has also relatively stabilized. Ganzi's still streaming in more units. But I think, yeah, I mean, this could have turned out way worse for TLO as well. In the end, he preserves his drone count.
And don't forget, Ganzi has been on 3 orbital command centers this whole time, so he is able to catch up in the harvester count. More importantly, as you can see, 58 to 43. It's about 13.5 SCVs that you can put into those mules, so it really helps out. They are pretty much even in harvester count. But now this big tech switch is actually going to be very difficult to actually keep up with. Ganzi will have to pretty much hard counter this because, well, maybe not. He has a lot of Marines, but Road Zerging Baneling is actually pretty efficient against Marine Hellion, especially if you have creep. So I think right now Ganzi does need to tech switch quite drastically. He's going to Siege Tank for now and trying to get his third base. He will play defensive from here on out. I can't see him actually playing this too aggressively because once TLO establishes that creep spread, Banelings become a lot more relevant and they can take out this army composition so easily.
TLO is trying to get everything else from his layer tech that you normally would already have. You can tell that a lot of his things have been delayed. He has a lot of roaches actually out. He's got 14 roaches, and that could be investment elsewhere, but for now I guess he's comfortable pumping them out. Now, at the same time, Ganzi lost a good number of his SUVs as well.
I agree with the roaches. Yeah, I agree with the roaches. I think that's very efficient. And it looks like this push is going to be very successful. He's not able to get... Oh, actually, Glee Reconstitution finished at the perfect time. He's going to come in here. Banelings can connect. Beautiful! TLO will take a gigantic advantage, cleaning up this push. And now we need to look at denying his opponent's third base. Absolutely fantastic play by TLO.
Wow, Ganzi overstepping his bounds and didn't really get his siege tank in position whatsoever as well. So Ganzi forced to fall back for now. And yeah, looks like Ganzi is forced to try to go into double factory production. The Roach is trying to see if they can get into position one. Oh. And they're going to run by here. Nope, they're just going to go straight for the tank, which they should. But again, TLO taking a lot of damage. And he actually traded a lot of supply as well for minimal amount of damage. Both these players, their attacks are just getting squashed. And in the end, it looks like Ganzi's the one who stabilized at his third as well.
71 harvesters this time around, different to game number 1, I would suspect. Yeah. And I think he should be droning up a little bit more than that. Also, another important thing, as you can see, his main is pretty much mined out. So he is kind of back on 3 base, but this is not enough hatcheries to actually spend all of this. He needs to start putting down at least 1 more hatchery to keep up with that constant spend once he actually increases his drone count.
Let's take a closer look at what we just saw here, as both players are being pretty passive. Oh, no, just kidding. Looks like I was lied to. That's okay. But Ganzi he's getting a really, really late stim. You can see he wanted to transition into that Marine tank. But both players are just playing at such awkward timings. It's 18.5 minutes of this game, and you can tell that none of them are exactly comfortable. They're just forced to really play back. TLO normally has creep spread all over the map. You saw in game number 1, he had overlords everywhere. And Ganzi is the one who actually controls the center of the map at the moment. So very unusual indeed. TLO has an incredible amount of overlords also starting to move into position, but this is not looking as strong for position TLO-wise, because I think Ganzi stabilized very nicely here.
I would love some sort of fake drop play, actually, with these overlords. And it looks like he's going to do that. Yeah, he just needs to show his overlords a little bit right here. Oh. And there it goes. It looks like all the units will run down over here. It gives the opportunity for his units over here. Now, he needed to take out this Xel'Naga tower because this fake drop doesn't do anything at this point. The units are semi-displaced, but not all the way. And you can see the Marines and siege tanks will be able to defend pretty accurately. But that's kind of unfortunate. I think if he took out this Xel'Naga tower, he would be so much better. And it would empower this push a lot nicer.
Ganzi now comes to the realization. He says those overlords are not doing anything. The burrowed zerglings are also getting cleaned up immediately. And Ganzi's like, oh, that was a fake. And he's also dropping the main as well, so if you can target really important things. If you can target down the Baneling nest, and who knows, even the spawning pool, maybe even the morphing hive, it could be very critical for Ganzi as the units from TLO are streaming back. But he doesn't have stim. Huh. Wow. 20 minutes in this game and no stim.
Sick timing, man.
This is
That's how Rotterdam would say. Oh man, sick 20-minute stim timing. Something similar. All right, I can't do his accent as well. Not as well as you.
Oh, well, Rotterdam would be like, I don't think that was very good, you know, because he was not able to snipe the Baneling nest, and then he just like goes on. It's like, I don't think that was really effective. But that was a really poor attempt as well. I don't like impersonating Rotterdam because Mr. Bitter thinks I do like the worst impression ever. He's like, that was a terrible job.
Which is funny because like everybody thinks you do an amazing impression.
And ever since then, I feel like I give half-hearted ones because I feel like I don't want to offend anyone anymore. But we're not even here to talk about Rotterdam. We're talking about these two players now. TLO, what's different this time around is, in fact, the drone count has been high, but he did lose some of those drones. And Ganzi is still going to try to drop. You can see at the natural, he's trying to see if he can pressure there, but there's actually no Marines left. He's going to drop in the top right as well. This is patented Ganzi aggression. Never wants to give his opponent rest. And from this point on, now he has stim. And TLO was like, oh, that's what's different this time.
Great fungals in the middle, though. These roaches are able to clear up so much, but he doesn't have continuation fungals, so these Marines will live on. Stimmed Marines and Siege Tanks will be able to take out everything. But in the meantime, fourth base, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm seeing this. TLO is losing his fourth base. He is not able to situate everything. I don't know what the units over here are doing. But, oh my gosh, I think this push is a killing blow.
This is an incredibly intimidating force. Ganzi, keep in mind, doesn't even have 2-2. He's got 1-1. And this is just a super strong attack given for the timing of everything, because TLO lost a lot of his units. Hive Tech has finished, but he hasn't really been able to capitalize on anything. In fact, Adrenal Glands and +3 melee are nowhere near finishing in time for this push, as Ganzi is already pressing the front doors of the natural. And if he can shut this down, TLO is going to be in lots of trouble. I love the small things that TLO has been trying to do this game, like the second Baneling nest, for example, because he was afraid of losing the first one. But this is a very hard position. Ganzi is looking very, very fearsome. What can you really do if you're in TLO's position?
Well, the counterattack is correct, I think. And you can see he's actually trying to go into the production, but it's not enough units. Burrowed roaches are going to just camp out a little bit right here. He's trying to fend off with, against this push, but I think the medevac count, again, is just way too strong. So there's not like that 1 or 2 units that you can pump up out and say, yes, I can do something about this. You need all your units. You need all your units to do something about it. So it's going to be a little bit difficult. Infestor is going to come over here. Oh, maybe a good fungal on these units.
Yeah, it could change everything, but I mean, Ganzi is just killing way too much. At this point, every unit that TLO loses is actually working against him, especially for a counterattack style, because you can try to see if you can turtle more. You can see Ganzi has a pretty good lockdown on his main base. The production is the key thing here. As long as he can keep his command centers alive in his production, he'll be in good shape. TLO can't say the same, as he's now starting to get worked onto his main base. And TLO, with real no tech available to him after his main base is gone, it's going to be really hard for him to do anything. The Infestors and Zerglings and Roaches going for one last attempt here, as they are fungling whatever they can, but Ganzi's not going to be moved. You can see that every unit that he takes out really doesn't give TLO any options, as he's only got a few Roaches left. The Infested Terrans are also being dropped, and Ganzi will stabilize with almost nothing really left to mine. GG. Ganzi takes game number 3 after a very back and forth game. And I didn't really know what to make out of that a lot of times, because it was like, this is a good time for them to move out. And it's like, yeah, but he stabilizes because he does a great defense.
TLO didn't have a mid-game there. He just completely said, I'm not going for mid-game. That's why we saw a super fast Hive. What Hive Tech did we see that game?
Adrenal Glands.
Yeah, Adrenal Glands. That's about it. +3 melee attack. That's it. That's the big problem. TLO was not defending or not looking to do anything in that mid-game stage. On top of that, he wasn't rushing to Hive Tech. So he's basically saying, well, I'm going to try to do a little bit like half-hearted aggression and Hive Tech at the same time. That's where he was committing a lot of his stuff. And he was needlessly pushing things through. Obviously, Zerglings, Roaches, things like that. What are you smiling about?
Nothing.
Oh.
I have chances, and I smile every time I see Chance. Also, when I look at your face, too. You and Chance could be brothers.
But yeah, TLO misplayed that, unfortunately. And from there on, I mean, Ganzi was able to capitalize, again, with his patented aggression and medevacs. Yeah, gave him the big win. I still don't know what you guys are laughing about.
No worries, man. Guys, game number 3 was brought to you by Kingston HyperX. Thank you so much to them for providing SSD and memory for NASL Season 3.